Hey everybody, my name is Christian Tamburr and behind me is our 2016 Entegra Coach Anthem. I'm a full-time touring musician and this is my big rolling green room. Love to take you along for the ride. Thanks a lot, and we really look forward to sharing our journey with you. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about getting my coach started up from being completely cold here in storage. So for those of you who store your coach inside, or looking to store your coach inside, this will give you a little insight to how to do that, how to set it up so that it's going to be comfortable while it's resting and not being used, and how to get it turned on. So this specific space has 30 amp, and I like to keep the coach with that type of power because I can run a multitude of different things on the coach, specifically during the winter months. Which is really handy to keep like the basement heat going and aqua hot kind of active so that the coach stays warm. I do not winterize the coach, so that's one of the key things here. But we're going to go through the process of turning the coach on from completely cold to ready to travel, which we're doing today. So yeah, let's do it. So as you can see, the coach is in its very tight spot here. This coach is approximately 43 feet length. The storage space is about 45, so not a lot of room. The coach is plugged in the 30 amp, but we're gonna go up into the coach first, get things kind of dialed on before we take that off here. Okay, so now the first thing that we're gonna do, since I stored the coach on 30 amp, even though technically I can keep all the power on, I have actually the inverters off and I have the coach powered down. The main power is off. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire that up. That's gonna go ahead and give me power to our lighting and really anything that I might need while I'm here kind of sitting in the space. Now, as I said, our inverters, even though they are off, because there's no reason while the coach is sitting here to have power going to different areas of the coach because nobody's using it. So we're hooked up to 30 amp. I have the ability to get to pretty much any of our different large systems like HVAC. I can't run all of my AC. I can run about 2 units and that taps me right under 30 amps. But as you can see, we're float charging, which means that even though the inverters are off, and again, I'm not running TVs, I'm not doing anything because the coach is being stored, they're still being charged. So whenever I leave the coach and I open up all of our anything that's going to have any kind of moisture in it, so that's going to be your refrigerator, that's going to also be your dishwasher. First thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and close up these items, lock these down just so that they are secure for when we're driving. One of the things I like to do here while we're still on 30 amp is to lock the dishwasher here. So the dishwasher, this Fisher Paykel unit, everybody's got a different configuration, but this unit, you have to have power to it on either 30 amp or on the generator or on 50 amp. You have to have full power to the coach to be able to lock it, which is super frustrating, but we're going to go ahead and do that. 1 beep. 2 beeps, 3 beeps, and you can hear that lockdown. So that's great. So that means that that's not going to slide out while we are driving. And the next thing I'm going to do, and this is something I kind of discovered and have kind of figured out that I have to do specifically for this coach. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fire up our water pump. And we're going to come over here and we're going to block the sink down. And I'm going to fill this up to probably, I don't know, just below this area here. In these coaches, we have P-traps, which are the little loop in the piping below that essentially sends all this water to your gray tank. So gray tank is going to take any water from your sinks. It's going to take any water from your dishwasher. It's going to take any water from your washing machine in your showers, and that's going to go to your gray tank. Gray tank stinks, and there's no real isolation like there is with the black tank between the toilets to keep any smells or anything like that kind of at bay. But gray tank, because there's a lot of plumbing that's going to that gray tank, one of the key components to keep it from smelling while you're driving down the road, that kind of nasty, smells like sewage, but it's the gray tank, is to make sure that the P-traps have water in them. And when the coach is sat for a while, the water will just evaporate out, it dries out. And one of the key locations, specifically with all the plumbing that's tied into for the dishwasher and this sink, is going to be here, is where you're going to get a majority of that smell to come up through. So all I'm doing is letting that water go. You can hear it going through the pipes. And now those P-traps have water in them. I'll just close that. I'll come over here, close this down, put a little water in there. This one doesn't take nearly as much. This is only if you're storing the coach for a couple weeks and you're not really using it. The other thing I will check just to make sure is that there's water in the toilet, and that means that there'll be a good seal. So it looks like we've got everything sorted here for the inside. I'm locked down with all of my components that could potentially open up while we are driving. Dishwasher is locked, and so is the fridge and the freezer. And so now we can go outside and get ourselves unplugged. Now, one of the reasons I don't do this unplugged first is because I want to do all those different items in the coach, specifically with the dishwasher, which requires full power, and it makes no sense to turn on the generator. But one of the reasons I like to keep this plugged in is because I like to try to get all the stuff inside the coach taken care of. That way I don't have the chance of thinking I did something out here, starting up the coach and driving away and still being hooked up. So we're going to go ahead and get this locked in here. So I'm going to unplug this and we'll be ready to go. This coach actually has a pretty substantial built-in power surge protector. However, I have a secondary unit. This is just one more key of defense. What I like about this is that before I plug anything in, I'll plug in this unit, and it'll give me indications of a couple different faults that could be happening at the power supply. By having the secondary unit kind of as a pre-indicator, again, it's got these indicator lights right here that once I plug this in to the wall, it'll tell me if it's seeing anything strange. So this will work for 50 and 30. So when I plug this in, again, to anywhere, it's going to give me these indicators that that's good, clean power. If I got any variation of this, or red lights or yellow lights, I would know that something was not right and I wouldn't plug in the coach. Okay, so the coach has been sitting for a while, and I'd say for about 2 weeks since the last time I drove it. So we're pretty much completely down off the air. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and turn the ignition on. We're gonna go ahead and wait to start. A lot of times I'll wait for this check engine light to go off, but there's a series of clicks, usually 6 to 7 clicks that I hear that run up and down the entire coach before I start that coach. Now that that check engine light has gone out, that's where I'm going to start the coach. But to get this process going, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I'm going to turn on my cruise control and hit resume. And that's going to bring our RPMs up, and what that's going to do is that's just going to speed up the process of gaining air, not only into our systems and to our air reservoirs for the brakes, but also for the suspension. Okay, that just tapped off, and now that's good to go. Now we're building air across the whole coach. Now I've got the coach here. It's been a couple minutes, maybe 2 minutes, just letting the air come up. I can hear the suspension, and if I were to look out here at my little indicator, you could very slowly but surely start to see the coach coming up on the suspension on the bags. All right, so just come outside to check that we're up to ride height, and we are. Another thing before I start moving this coach is, even though it's only been a week or so since I drove, Like come out, make sure that there's nothing coming out that's odd or strange. Check our tires. Nothing looks like we have any issues, and we are ready to pull out of here. Let's get on with it. Alright, so I like to run with the headlights because it looks cool. Put my foot on the brake, which means that we came off a high idle. We're up on ride height. Throw in our air brake, and we're good to go. Now, one thing I will tell you, if you're storing your coach for the first time and you're getting used to going in and out of your storage area, these coaches have a wide swing at the back, and you can find yourself, especially in tight situations like a parking lot, potentially knocking somebody in the rear, and when you take a hard left or hard right. And so what I like to do is just make sure I'm fully out of that garage before I crank the wheel hard right or hard left. That way you don't take the side of your garage door with you. All right, get this positioned here. And even though it's only be a minute or two before we get set, I'm going to go ahead once again and put the coach up on high idle. And all that's going to do is just kind of make sure that everything is sorted, that our voltage is where they want to be. Also gives me the ability to come around the back of the coach and do a walk around. Ready to go. That's how we started. And that entire process, even if I hadn't been filming, takes me about 15 minutes. So better safe than sorry, and all the best luck in traveling. I hope this helped you guys get your coach ready to drive.